Ellen DeGeneres was driving home after a long day at work. The traffic was heavy, and as she waited at a red light, her eyes landed on a young girl standing on the corner. She held a cardboard sign that read, "I'm hungry and homeless, looking for work." Her clothes were worn and tattered. She looked exhausted, as if she hadn't eaten in days. People walked past her, avoiding eye contact, pretending she didn't exist. No one stopped to ask if she needed help. Ellen hesitated for a moment. Then she pulled over to the side of the road and stepped out of her car, walking toward the girl. The girl flinched slightly, taking a small step back. She was used to people either ignoring her or treating her with disdain. Ellen spoke gently. "Hi there, can I buy you something to eat?" The girl blinked in surprise. No one had ever asked her that before. She stared at Ellen for a few seconds before slowly nodding. And just like that, Ellen and the young girl walked together to a small cafe down the street. But Ellen wasn't prepared for the heartbreaking story she was about to hear. Inside the cafe, the girl remained hesitant. She kept her head down, avoiding eye contact with anyone, as if she expected people to judge her. Ellen could see the weight of fear and shame pressing down on her. When the waiter approached to take their order, the girl barely whispered, "Just water, please." Ellen frowned slightly. "Sweetheart, you can order anything you want. You need to eat." The girl's eyes widened in disbelief. She hesitated, then nervously ordered a sandwich. When the food arrived, she ate hungrily, almost as if she was afraid it might be taken away. Ellen watched, realizing just how long this girl had been surviving on nothing. After a few moments of silence, Ellen gently asked, "What's your name?" The girl hesitated before speaking softly. "Sarah." Ellen smiled. "That's a beautiful name. Sarah, do you want to tell me how you ended up here?" Sarah slowly set her sandwich down and intertwined her fingers. Her eyes became distant, her voice shaky. "I was kicked out of my house when I was 16. Ellen's heart sank. Sarah took a deep breath before continuing. "My family never really wanted me. My mom used to tell me all the time, 'I wish you were never born.' My dad, he drank a lot. When he got angry, he would yell at me, sometimes even hit me. I knew they didn't love me, but I had nowhere else to go." Tears welled up in her eyes, but she quickly wiped them away and kept talking. "Then one night, it got worse. My dad came home drunk. He screamed at my siblings. My mom cried. But the worst part was when he looked at me and said, 'You're nothing but a burden to this family.' And then, my mom turned to me and yelled, 'Get out, just leave.'" Sarah squeezed her eyes shut. "So I did." Ellen felt a lump in her throat. A young girl, abandoned, left to survive on the streets, for no reason other than being unwanted. But Sarah's story wasn't over yet. Sarah's voice trembled, but she kept going. "I didn't even take a suitcase. I had just a few dollars in my pocket. I tried to go to my friends, but no one opened their door for me. No one wanted a homeless girl staying in their house." Ellen felt the weight of those words. A teenage girl, abandoned at her most vulnerable age, with nowhere to go. It was heartbreaking. Sarah lowered her head, tracing the edge of the table with her fingers, as she whispered, "At first, I went to shelters, but they were all full. They told me that maybe in a week, a spot would open up. But I couldn't wait a week, so I just kept walking." Ellen frowned slightly. "Where did you go?" Sarah shrugged lightly, attempting a small laugh, but her voice cracked. "There wasn't a direction. I just walked, sometimes all night, because if I stopped, I was scared." Ellen tilted her head. "What were you scared of?" Sarah averted her eyes. "Because people aren't as kind as you think." Ellen began to understand what she meant, but Sarah wasn't done. "One night, a man came up to me. He said he wanted to help. I was starving. I hadn't eaten in hours. He offered to buy me a burger. He smiled and said, 'I can even get you somewhere warm to stay.'" Sarah took a shaky breath, and for a second, I wanted to believe him, because I was desperate. She clenched her fists on the table. But then, I realized what he really meant. Ellen instinctively leaned in closer. "There are other ways for girls like you to survive," he said. My stomach turned. I tried to pull away, but he grabbed my arm and shoved me against the wall. In that moment, I thought, this is it. My life is over. Sarah's voice broke. She swallowed hard, trying to push through the memory. Ellen held her breath. "What happened next?" Sarah shut her eyes tightly. A stranger showed up and stopped him. I barely managed to escape, but ever since that night, I can't trust anyone. Every day someone else tries to approach me. Every night there's another offer, another threat. People don't look at you with pity when you're homeless. They see you as prey. Ellen's heart ached. This city, which should have been a place of opportunity, was nothing but a trap for this girl. But then Sarah's body tensed. That wasn't even the worst night. Ellen's eyes sharpened. Sarah took a deep breath, staring at a fixed point, as if reliving the moment. It was raining. I was freezing. I curled up inside a bus stop. I hadn't slept in days. My eyes kept shutting. But then, someone nudged me with their foot. I looked up. A man in a designer suit was staring down at me. He sneered and said, "You can't sleep here. This place isn't for filth like you." Sarah clenched her jaw. Then he pulled out a $5 bill. "Here," he said, "go find another corner to rot in." And in that moment, I realized people didn't actually see me. They just saw a problem they wanted to get rid of. Ellen's eyes welled up. Sarah gave a weak smile, but the pain in her gaze was unmistakable. "You know, sometimes I wish people really didn't see me, but they do. And when they do, they either look down on me, try to use me, or chase me away." Ellen swallowed the lump in her throat. This girl wasn't asking for a miracle. She wasn't asking for anything she didn't deserve. She just wanted to survive. Sarah finally met Ellen's eyes. "That's why I'm here. I hold this sign because I have no other choice." Ellen's gaze hardened. That wasn't true. Sarah did have a choice, and Ellen was going to give it to her. Sarah spoke softly, almost as if afraid to say it out loud. "When I was little, I always wanted to be a veterinarian." Ellen smiled. "A veterinarian?" Sarah nodded shyly. "I love animals. They don't judge me. They don't hurt me. They just want love." Ellen thought for a moment. This girl had lost everything, yet she still carried a dream in her heart. And if there was one thing Ellen believed in, it was turning dreams into reality. She looked at Sarah with determination and said, "If you really want this, I can give you a chance." The next day, Ellen didn't just find Sarah a shelter. She found her an opportunity. Sarah was placed in a safe, warm environment where she didn't have to worry about the next meal or the cold streets. But Ellen wasn't done. She made a few calls and arranged something that left Sarah speechless. A job. A veterinarian's office was willing to take her in as an assistant. When Ellen told her, Sarah's eyes widened in disbelief. "You're really doing this for me?" Ellen smiled warmly. "Not just for you, but for everyone like you. Because everyone deserves a second chance." Tears streamed down Sarah's face as she threw her arms around Ellen, unable to find the words to express her gratitude. That day, for the first time in years, she believed in something she had lost long ago: hope. And from that moment on, Sarah's life was never the same again.